All right, good morning. Let me be the first to welcome you to our second College Completion Summit. A little change in the program. I'm here on behalf of Lynn Weisenbach. She's doing all right, but she is having a surgery this afternoon. So we, as a group, I think, made history last year having all the technical college institutions, all the university system institutions in the same room, focusing on how are we going to increase college completion in Georgia, and how do we do that together. This time we have a few more guests, and we're taking the good work that campuses did on those college completion plans and trying to figure out how to look at it from a regional perspective, from a statewide perspective, to drive college completion, enhance economic development, and do it with our great K-12 partners and our industry partners that are here to help us out. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Jackson and Chancellor Huckabee to provide the formal welcome.
Thank you, Art. This is going to be a team effort here. Welcome, everyone, to this second summit. I'm happy to be at the podium with my colleague, Chancellor Huckabee. And it is an indication of what a partnership this work is going to be on Complete College Georgia. We've got some important folks here that have joined us. Our board chair from the university system, Dink Neesmith. Is Dink here yet? I know he's coming. Haven't seen Dink, but he will be here. And Rusty Griffin, the USG Board of Regent member. Is Rusty here? We'll make sure that we introduce him when he does get here.
He's here.
He's here. I've seen him. There's Rusty, right over there. Right. Thank you, Rusty. Lynn Cornett, who is the board chair for the Technical College System of Georgia. Lynn, thank you for being here. Helen Rice, who is the vice chair of the State Board of Education. Helen, thank you for being here. Kristen Bernard, who is the Education Policy Director for Governor Nathan Deal. Thank you, Kristen, for you being here. I haven't seen her, but Susanna Baxter, who is the president of the Georgia Independent College Association. Is Susanna in the audience?
There she is.
Yes, right there. She's walked forward. Susanna, thank you for being here. And the members of the Complete College Georgia Leadership Council, those folks that work to sort of pull all this together, would the members of the Leadership Council please stand and be recognized? They've done a lot of work on this meeting. The Leadership Council members. And I know from the Workforce Investment Board, the director, Tricia Pridemore, is here from the governor's office. Thank you, Tricia. So, a lot of work to do. Chancellor, you want to step in?
All right. Good morning. We're delighted to see all of you here in Athens, Georgia on this rather brisk morning. We're here really in doing several things. One, learning a great deal about what we're to do next, but also it can take on the form of a celebration of what has been accomplished over the last 2 years. When I became chancellor, I immediately began to hearing about this concept of Complete College America. And we began to study it, and as we began to I get the idea that the governor was interested in it. We got very interested in it.
Yes, we did.
And over the last 2 years, it's been amazing what we've accomplished thus far. As Ron said, this is, or as Art said, this is the second summit. Quite frankly, we're in this for the long haul. We are committed to making this work, and I think probably 10 years from now we'll be standing here talking about our 12th summit, because it's going to take that kind of dedication. Thank you for your hard work thus far. We're the only state in the country that has both systems have gotten their campus plans together, and your attendance here today is evidence of that. So we're already being seen by the rest of the country as a leader in this effort. But as you know, developing a plan is one thing, but moving beyond that and implementing it is another. And that's what we're committed to do. I know that's what you're committed to do. And we look forward to continuing to work with all of you in this room in achieving those goals.
Some of the other work that we've done besides completing your plans on your college campuses, and for all of our colleges to have done that was no small feat. We've also worked with the Funding Commission to propose, which is now in the legislative process, to propose a funding formula based on outcomes. And completion is one of those components of the outcome-based formula. That's another big step toward us making sure that we stay on line with progression of students through the system faster than perhaps we have got them going in the past, and working toward making our funding based upon those outcomes and college completion. There's nothing like money to get your attention when it comes to making things happen. So that's another piece, and we will watch it closely as we move through this process. I can tell you the work that you've done on those plans was not easy. It was difficult and challenging, and quite frankly, bringing all of you together, many of you who worked on your campus plans at your individual campuses and colleges, you are in this room because you know what is in those plans, and now to integrate them in a bigger way and to talk about regional and other strategies is critically important to making us successful and making Georgia stand out beyond all others as we move through this completion. Our goal by 2020 is 250,000 additional graduates over our current production level. That is critically important, not only for our students, our state, but our economic viability in today's global marketplace. We've got to have the workforce to attract businesses and for our businesses to be successful. They got to be smart, they got to be skilled, and the facts are that we cannot sit back as higher education and our partners in K-12 and not work hard on the solutions that need to be there to reach this goal of 250,000 additional graduates.
One reason I'm so proud of this effort thus far is it's a good example of what both Commissioner Jackson and I believe in and have talked about from the very beginning, and that is going forward to meet the educational goals and needs of Georgia, that our two systems have to work close together. And there's no other program in existence in which we work more closely than Complete College Georgia. But today we're going to begin to connect the dots on how we move forward. And we have today, different from last year, the involvement and participation of the business community. You'll hear from Chris Clark, the State Chamber Board, the president later, the Workforce Development Board. If we're going to be successful, we have to partner with many other people, just not within our two systems. So we're excited about that. We know it's not going to be easy, but quite frankly, when you look back at the decision to participate in Complete College America or not, it really was an easy decision. Because if we're concerned at all about the future of the state, if we're concerned at all about the future of our citizens, then we had to participate. I said last week in a meeting of our Board of Regents that the siren song of the 21st century is that post-secondary education is irrelevant, not worth it, and too costly. That is a recipe for disaster. And I hope everyone in this room would join all of us all the time countering that false song, because we just cannot afford that. The business community, I hope, will join us even more loudly in the weeks and months and years ahead, proclaiming the importance of post-secondary education, because that is going to be the key to their economic success. So thank you for being here, but more importantly, thank you for the work that you're going to be asked to do, and I hope you will do over the next years, do enthusiastically. So Ron and I are committed to work at our level to make this program as successful as possible, and I know you'll do your part. Quite frankly, would not be this far along, I'm convinced, were it not for the support of the governor of the state of Georgia, Nathan Deal. He could not be here with us this morning, but I assure you his staff is always with us, working and helping and encouraging along the way. So sit back a few minutes and we'll all listen to a welcoming comments by video from Governor Nathan Deal.
Thank you for taking the time to attend the 2013 Complete College Georgia Summit. As you all know, our state faces an economic development imperative to increase the percentage of young Georgians that hold a post-secondary credential from where it stands today at about 40% to 60%, and accomplish this by the year 2020. Make no mistake, this is a monumental goal. However, it is not one that you as individual institutions or even as statewide systems face alone. In fact, this summit is a representation of the collaboration that it will take for Georgia to reach our college attainment goal. The industry, community, K through 12, and of course, higher education stakeholders here today are building the intentional partnerships that will ultimately allow for students to be successful, to work hard, to graduate with a credential, and to find good jobs. Whether you come from across the county, across the state, or even just across campus, I hope that you will find the next 2 days insightful and informative. Thank you for the work you're doing for our students and ultimately for our state as a whole.